You know who's very social? Not you. It's our national football editor, Steve Spiewak, and he is joining us now like he will each and every week on the show. Steve, it's gotta feel good. Football is back.
It feels great, guys, and the new set looks great on your end. I am returning to the friendly confines of the same set that I came to you from last year.
Well, you look great still, nonetheless. And, of course, heading into the season, there's always a ton of new headlines. And one of the top headlines going into every season usually has to deal with top recruits. So talk to us about who are this year's top recruits in the class of 2014 and why.
Sure, I think it's only appropriate that we begin the start of the football season by going over the nation's very best players, and that list is headed by a young man named Josh Sweat from Oscar Smith High School in Chesapeake, Virginia, playing for head coach Rich Morgan down there in the Class 6 powerhouse Smith Tigers. He had 22 sacks last year as a junior. Amazingly, he sort of was under the radar because he played alongside Andrew Brown, who took home a National Player of the Year award. So he was only the second best player on the defensive line, but for this year, the class of 2015, he's good enough for number one overall in the 24/7 composite rankings. He had a huge performance at Nike's, the opening. He's 6'5", 240 pounds, has just unbelievable athleticism for a young man of his size, and he has drawn comparisons, guys, to Jadeveon Clowney just in terms of his physique and his ability at the defensive end position. He's looking at Virginia Tech, Ohio State, Florida State. You know, every program would love to have Josh Sweat. We'll have to see where he ends up. The number one recruit in the 24/7 composite. Going a little bit further down that list at number 2 is a young man named Martez IV from Apopka High School. The Blue Darters down in the Orlando area of Florida. Martez IV has started for Apopka since his sophomore season. Guys, at all levels of football, we know how important it is to have a franchise type of player protecting your quarterback on the left side of the offensive line, and that's exactly what Martez IV has done for the last 2 seasons for head coach Rick Darlington's Apopka squad. 6'5", 240 pounds, great athleticism for his size. He's light on his feet, good bend, everything a college coach looks for in an offensive lineman. He's looking at Florida, Auburn, and others. He's the number 2 player in the 24/7 composite, and he's a big reason why Apopka will probably make another run toward a state title. Now back on the defensive side of the ball, the number 3 player in the 24/7 rankings, Trent Thompson, a defensive tackle. Somehow, playing defensive tackle, he was able to rack up 83 tackles, which is very uncommon for a player lining up, plugging holes in the middle. He also had 12 sacks and was an all-state selection. He fires off the ball and is very difficult to account for. He talked about almost committing to Georgia twice during his sophomore season. Well, just a few weeks ago, he finally pulled the trigger heading into his senior season, and he is verbally committed to the Bulldogs of Georgia. Also on the defensive line from the state of Florida, Byron Coward from Armwood High School in the Tampa area. Armwood is very well known for their physical, punishing brand of defense. They've had some of the best defenses that high school football has ever seen, and this year Byron Coward spearheads the effort, a 6'4", 260 pound specimen. He's a guy that also, like Josh Sweat, looked extremely impressive at Nike's, the opening. He is a very, very big boy. He towers over opponents and has just incredible strength. He's been on the varsity since his freshman year, which is very hard to do in the state of Florida at a program like Armwood. Lots of schools want him: Florida, Florida State, Oregon, Notre Dame. Not really clear where he'll end up, but I think regardless of which school gets him, he's a guy that will make an instant impact as a freshman. And finally, staying on the defensive side of the ball, but moving to the secondary, Iman Marshall, cornerback from Long Beach Poly, a program well known for churning out top-level talent. This is a guy who has been well known since he was playing Pop Warner football in the Snoop Pop Warner League in Southern California. He has not disappointed. He's going into his third year starting for the Jackrabbits. He even sees a little time on offense. But, talking about valuable positions, guys, seeing how offenses fling the ball around, he's a guy that can lock down a tall, lanky receiver, and that is something that is invaluable at all levels of football, especially high school.
And Spiewak, I want to apologize going into that. I said it was the class of 2014. Of course, this is the class of 2015. Him not
First
changing.
show.
Yeah, first show, Jigs, and the new set, and he has the same set. I thought it was the same year.
I know,
so
you're off.
I'm off a
Don't worry
little bit.
about it.
Off a little bit, but thanks.